Damn, I'm blackout drunk. Hi, and welcome back to That's a good start. Damn, I'm drunk as hell.
And welcome back to Chiquiddle, aka Can I Quest That Line? I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Tomato Softball, aka the Ginger Giant, aka 6'4" Sycamore. And I'm your other co-host, Rhyum Rose.
Yeah, we are the two hosts of this podcast. We're here every single week. We never give up, and we never break, and we never surrender.
Never get it. I'm not going to rickroll you guys. I'm sorry for that.
I should cut to that. Yeah, we're here today to give you a bit of an overview on how D&D works as both a player and a dungeon master. We'll go player first, dungeon master second, and then talk about a bit of our how we like to run games and maybe some tips and tricks we've picked up. And honestly, our combined 16 years of dungeon master experience.
Bro, probably combined 20.
Yeah, I was rounding down a few because I haven't been super dedicated over the 10 years I've been doing it.
I've been very dedicated.
I've taken a few sabbaticals.
Same here though. If you're a DM for as long as we have, you're gonna need some mental health breaks for sure.
Yeah, true. Honestly, it was like burnout. It was
100%.
It was like I just need to. I just
you only
need
give
4
so
months
much.
True, and all my players do is take.
Seriously, and they're like,
I'm kidding.
Can I
I
level
love
up?
you guys.
"Can I level up? Can I level up?"
Yeah, and did we level up? Not today.
You just talked to an NPC. What the fuck do you mean?
You had one fight today. It was with a homeless man.
So yeah, starting off with how would you go about making a character?
Yeah, well, first of all, as a player, you are a character. So it comes down to deciding what you want to be is the first thing. There's a lot of different options in D&D between both classes and races. And really, it's suits what you want to be in the game. If you want to focus a lot more on your dialogue options, you want to max out your charisma, which goes to certain classes. But we'll get into I think we should start with just saying, in D&D, there are 6 major stats that you need to know. It's your strength, your dexterity, your charisma, constitution, intelligence, and wisdom. So I feel like a lot of people. So strength is how strong you are. Dexterity is how agile you are. Charisma is Riz. Everyone knows Riz. If you looked at our charisma scores, you'd see 20s. And
Which is a +5.
Yeah, true. And we'll get into that in a sec. But strength, dexterity, charisma, constitution, people don't really understand. Yeah, it's basically it dictates how much health you have, how resilient you are to poisoning, how you can handle extreme cold as well.
Yep,
maybe?
extreme cold, acid, poison.
It's your fortitude.
It's your fortitude.
I feel like is a good word for that.
How well you can take a hit.
And then intelligence and wisdom. A lot of people are what's the difference? How would you explain it?
Intelligence is pretty much how intelligent you are, how smart you are. It ties into a lot of spell casting and very few saving throws, which we'll get into. Mm-hmm. It's a very minute defense for spell casting. But for wisdom, it's, how wise you are, how perceptive you are. So it ties into perception, for example. So how well you notice things. How aware of your surroundings you are, and it's a very good defense for spellcasting, which again we'll get into later. Yeah,
I think I always describe it as intelligence would be book smart, whereas wisdom is more street smart. It's helps with your insight into people and
perfect way
and
of
stuff
putting
like that. And more nature, I feel is more wisdom.
Yes, nature is very wisdom for sure.
Yeah, whereas again, magic would be not. So when it comes down to making your character, you have those 6 abilities, and depending on your class that you choose, you want to assign your points to these stats differently. So if you're a barbarian, obviously you want to have high constitution and high strength, so you have good health and do good damage. Whereas a lot of people will minimize their like intelligence or charisma for a barbarian build because it's less important for what your character is trying to do. Whereas if you want to be a very like suave, convincing person where you like doing dialogue and stuff like that, I would say like bard, rogue, warlock,
sorcerer.
Yeah, anything that maximizes charisma really is what you go for there. And then with that, after you choose, well, really you could do it in either order, but both of us typically, if we're making a character, we go class first, race second.
If you're doing this, I think across the board, everyone should just do class then race, because race will definitely give you certain bonuses to those different stats, and it's kind of pointless if you're doing, for example, a drow, which is a dark elf, which tends to give a bonus to charisma. But if I'm doing a barbarian, for example, and I'm barbarian drow, I'm gonna get that boost to charisma, but I'm not really gonna use it. So what's the point?
Yeah, that is to say that's us like min-maxing. So we were trying to make the most powerful character we can. If you want to be like a gnome barbarian because that's your backstory and it's true to that character that you've thought of, that's completely fine. And I don't think it'll affect you like too much. But
not really, but I think you, even min-maxing aside, I think you definitely will notice it, because that even +1 differences can make the world.
True. Yeah. Well, we've given you the information now. You could decide when you make your character.
So yeah, let's go over the classes.
Yeah. Oh, all the classes?
Of course.
And all the races?
But of course.
Do we have that much time?
We're going to make time for you, baby.
Do you think I can name them all off the top of my head?
Let's see. For each one you don't, I'm ripping off a pube.
I'm okay. That's only like, it'll be like 4.
I've made sure he's smooth for these podcasts.
I don't know what to say to this. Barbarian. I'll go alphabetical too. Barbarian. Bard.
Let's do a little, like a brief overview of just a tiny like glaze of what each one is.
Yeah, okay. Let's go band for band. Let's go back.
Bet. I like that.
So barbarian, you're a big, strong, dumb guy. You take half damage. You swing a big sword or a big axe or a big hammer. You get angry to make yourself stronger, and you're often dumb. If I didn't say that already.
You don't have to be, but you're pretty much often dumb.
Yeah, that's most builds.
Yeah. Bard, you are a spellcaster who casts spells through music, charm, and a little bit of riz. You're probably going to be talking to a lot of people, maybe a little bit of fucking, maybe a little bit of sucking. We might have to cut some of this out. We might not. We'll see what Neven feels like.
I'm leaving it in.
And you're pretty much, and like another class, which we'll get into, which starts with an R, you are a jack of all trades. You are good at a lot of things, but you're not an expert at anything.
Much like a ranger. Is that the R class you were going to say?
I was going to say a rogue.
Oh, shit.
Rangers does not do that.
Much like a rogue. I'm going to cut that.
I'm leaving it in.
Good. Who is a sneaky bastard.
You missed one, by the way, for going alphabetical.
Oh, no, I know. I did.
Okay.
I was just trying to go with the one that you pitched
That's
next.
fair. Keep going.
Prick. Asshole. I'll kill you! Yeah, rogue. You're a sneaky little guy. You like hiding out in the shadows. You get some useful bonus actions, which help you maneuver and hide really easily. You get sneak attack, which does a lot of extra damage if you're attacking with certain conditions met, which is like the whole, well, it depends on your build, but in your subclass.
Which we'll get into later.
Rogue is like sneaky, charismatic. You can also get a little bit of magic if you want to trick some people with it, which is fun.
Arcane Trickster.
Much like another class that has magic that starts with R.
Cleric.
Oh shit!
I can't help it. It's the ADHD.
Yeah, we can just do whatever. we'll get to them.
Cleric, you are the healer. You're the priest. You're the holy one. You could be a little bit unholy if you like, but yeah, you're the support of the group. You use magic to heal your allies, maybe do some buffing if you'd like, and typically D&D, is very religion based. You don't have to be. I think it's a lot more fun when it is, and it adds so much more flavor when it is. And clerics have a lot of that because you get your power from a god that you pray to. Shout out Pike. Go watch
Vox Machina.
Vox Machina. What's next?
Speaking to getting powers from a god, I love warlocks. They're basically they've made a less savory deal with a powerful being for some power, whether that's, I forget all the ones. There's the great old one.
Fiend.
The Fiend. And then another one.
Archfey?
I'm
pretty sure it's Archfey.
I'll take your word for it. But yeah, this one, your charisma is high, so you're pretty good at talking to people. You get warlock feats. What are those called?
Eldritch Invocations.
Eldritch Invocations. So every couple levels, you get a cool ability that you can select. Whether that's like, if you're standing still in shadows, you'll become invisible. You can get this Mask of Many Faces, which is just disguise self whenever you want. So it's very fun for like out of combat situations. And then Eldritch Blast, of course, is your go-to.
It's delicious.
Yeah, you got to be used to it. When it comes to combat, you're pretty much doing the same thing every time, unless you want to burn one of your 3 spell slots.
2, which does not increase.
Depends on the level.
Nope, it's just 2.
I don't think so.
It's pretty much just 2.
In Baldur's Gate, I ended up getting more, but it must have been from
an item or something.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
I'll concede. Next, we're going to go with Monk.
We are.
I'm going with Monk.
Fake me out. I thought we were for sure we're going
Never
with
let him know
something
your
else.
next move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of hitting Neven in the face, monks are all about hand-to-hand combat, the fisticuffs, and about like self-embodiment. So your monk is your typical, it doesn't have to be like your traditional like Buddhist monk, which some of them are, but yeah, typically you're just doing a lot of hand-to-hand combat. You're really good at your ki energy, or just like aware of yourself, so you can attack quite a lot of times, flurry of blows. You can also just be like, am I poisoned? No, I'm not. Fuck you, cuz. And you can also just be like, pressure point, you're paralyzed.
Oh!
See?
Can't fucking do that to me. We're co-hosts.
Sorry. This is a safe space. If you're ever feeling endangered, please contact us.
Contact us? What are we gonna do?
Not much, but you can still contact us if you like.
Yeah, let us know. We'll let someone else who can help know.
So yeah, I think of a monk as a mix between a fighter and a rogue. So you got a little bit of up close and personal, but you're also like pretty sly, pretty fast, pretty mobile.
True. And speaking of one of those 2 combos that we haven't touched on, fighter is what I'm getting at. We've mentioned it briefly in episode 1 about how it's the hardest class to play in D&D. But that's not true. It's very easy. It's literally just standard. Like, you're a knight, you have a sword. You can choose as one of your subclasses to get maybe a little bit of magic if you want to do some little magic. You can also choose to just be an even better swordsman. You get some what are they called? Superiority die that you can expend to do some cool moves. And then there's, of course, champion fighter, which is just fighter, but easy.
If barbarian's too complicated, you got fighter.
True. Yep. Just big. If you want to be a man with a sword, fighter. Yeah.
Moving on from fighter, we're gonna go to Ranger. We're gonna go to Ranger. This one is our Legolas. What the fuck is her name from Vox Machina? Vex or Vax? I always forget. I think it's Vax. Anyways, we're gonna go for our sexy elf shooter, long range distance. So your Ranger is typically your person who likes nature. They like bow and arrows, and they like a little bit of magic. Mainly for utility, some like ensnarement, some buffs, mainly debuffs. But Ranger's a good class if you want to do that long range sharpshooter style.
And if you want to get up and if you love nature but you want to be a little more up close and personal, you'd be a druid. Personally, in Baldur's Gate, I find it very hard not to have a druid in your party because they're just so versatile. They can heal. They have a lot of spells. They can tank damage if they need to with like or wild shape. Halcyon is an owlbear. Just carried me through the entire first playthrough, like the whole game. He was so good.
Can you elaborate more on their bread and butter wild shape?
Oh, true. That is like the main thing about. So, as a druid, your main ability or magical feature that you have is wild shape, which allows you to take the form of an animal, and you gain all of its stats and hit points and whatnot. And then once that animal form runs out of hit points, you just reset back to how you were before you wild shaped. So if you lose all your hit points as an owlbear, you go back and then you're just your dude again. And then you have basically like a second chance.
Do you like being a snake? Do you like being a rat and to fit in small places?
True.
Do you want to be a giant anaconda and choke your people out?
Or
you must get some consent first. Or if you want to hit the skies and flies. Don't shake your head at consent, you fucking
That's not what I'm shaking my head at, you freak. I wanted this to be a highbrow podcast. I wanted intellectuals to watch this.
Okay, let's try this again.
Pinky up. There you go.
Do you like hopping around from tip to top as our bunny rabbit?
All right, he's mocking me. I'm done. All right, next class.
I thought I was doing pretty good.
What is next? You decide.
So after, what was it, Druid and Ranger, I believe we're down to the Paladin. And this is going to be pretty much our tankier cleric. This is going to be our front line along with our barbarian and probably a fighter. This is the person who has a shield most of the times. They have a nice big mace or like sword or hammer. And they have some good spell casting. Similar to the cleric, they get their powers from a deity, but unlike the cleric, they have a special kind of relationship to their deity where they take an oath. The oath is where you get all your subclasses, and it's kind of like they're almost like their bread and butter, but we'll get into that. But so there's different kind of oaths for the different kind of subclasses. You can have like an oath of vengeance, where like I pray to the Slaw God, give me the powers of the Slaw, so I can avenge my fallen ancestors. And then that Slaw God might grant me power, so I can go do that.
Like coleslaw?
Yeah, Slaw for the Slaw God.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man. Come on.
Sorry.
God. There's also Oath of Devotion, where you want to protect people and be a good guy and that kind of thing. And there's also some more unsavory oaths that you can take. But a really fun part about the Paladin is that you can break your oath, which is something you don't really want to do. If you break your oath, that means you kind of broke your deal with your god, and they have all right and power just to take that power away from you, and now you're an Oathbreaker Paladin, which is a whole other subclass, which you don't want to fuck with. Going along with that, though, they have their Divine Smites. You want to start smiting people with that holy energy and do a shit ton of damage, go right ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Good healer, too.
So, speaking to magic users, we've talked a lot about people who get their magic from sources.
Like more, I feel like everything
from
covered.
deities.
Yeah, from deities, druids, from nature. And
what if you
nature
got
deities.
it from your bloodline?
It's like, what would you call that?
A sorcerer.
Right. No, you're right.
What?
No, keep going.
Okay. I don't know much about sorcerer, I'll be honest. Maybe you should take sorcerer.
How about I'll do sorcery, do wizard?
I was going to say, because the other one, which doesn't typically involve a deity. It's mostly, yeah.
No deity at all.
You learn the magic based out of sheer intelligence.
If you're a heretic, if you're an atheist, and you want to say, fuck the gods, I'm going to learn this shit, you're going to be a...
wizard. do a lot of damage, but you can't take a lot of it.
You're a pencil neck bitch.
Glass cannon, as we like to refer to that.
Tomato.
In the business. Yeah, you're a big nerd, and you learned spells, and now you can dish out those spells. And outside of that, I don't think there's much.
I think a couple of the highlighting features.
I've never played a wizard, I will say.
Okay. I think a couple of highlighting features of the wizard that definitely sets it apart from other spellcasters is two things. One is you have the most amount of spells of any spellcaster. You're like, boom, 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 boom. You're casting spells all day long. Another cool part, which I think only like 2 classes, max 3 spellcasters have this in the game, is you can swap out your spells.
Oh, true.
A lot of spellcasters, mainly the ones that pray to gods, once you select your spells that you've learned, or imagine like a contract. If I'm going to the Slaw God and I'm like, hey, I want these powers, they're gonna be like, okay, I have a list of powers here for you. Which ones do you want? You're gonna be like, I want that one, that one. Once you sign that deal, there's no going back. Those are your spells. However, wizards, again, they're atheists, they're heretics. They're like, I learned this shit. I'll learn whatever I want. So you have a whole spell book, and you can just go and relearn different spells if you want as you go, which is a huge bonus. Mm-hmm. And yeah, those are the 2 like highlighters of wizard for sure. The subclasses are sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
It starts with an N.
Necromancer.
Word. If you like raising the dead.
What are the other ones? I can recall some of the schools of magic. Is it like...
Yeah, those are the subclasses.
Like necromancer, illusion.
If you want to cast illusions and be a tricky bastard, you can go for the illusionary school of magic.
What is damage? I forget what damage. Damage.
If you want to do a shit ton of damage and you just want to say fuck everybody, I believe it's a evocation wizard. And if you want to start, just summon a bunch of pimps and allies, just to help you aid in battle because you're a lazy fuck, then you can just do conjuration. There's a lot of really cool schools of magic that you can go into for sure.
Yeah, and I know all of them well, and I know stuff about the game, much like a sorcerer, which I'll let him take.
Sorcerers are another spellcaster. I would say the second highest spellcaster in terms of how many spells you can cast a day. Unlike the other subclasses that get their powers from gods, and the wizard who just learns it by himself, the sorcerer gets it strictly through his bloodline, and it's just in him. So they, there's different types. For example, there's a draconic sorcerer, which you have dragon blood in you, and so dragons are very magical, very powerful. And so because of that blood and because of your physiology, you can just start casting spells. You don't know how you do it. You just do it. You're just like, there's a fireball. I don't know how I did that, but my finger kind of hurts. And then there's a couple others, which I'm not going to get into, but I think the bread and butter of the... thank you very much. The bread and butter of the sorcerer is you have sorcery points, which are a very special type of points you can use to alter your spells. For example, if you have a spell that says, I'm going to target this person and shoot him in the head with a lightning bolt, now you can target 2 people instead. Or if you want to be like, damn, I really want to cast this spell, but I don't have the action economy to do that. Well, now you do, okay? Because you just can do whatever the fuck you want. You don't give a fuck! We're going to have to cut that.
No. We'll see. I get final say.
He does. He's
I'm the god of I'm the DM of the podcast.
He really is. Do you think we missed anyone?
I was just trying to go over it in my head. I don't think so.
I think we did miss one. It's not in the normal players.
I knew you were going to say this. All right, take it away, fucking nerd.
My favorite class, the Artificer. This is another spellcaster focused, except this guy is the tinker of the group, and he likes to make a lot of magical shit and doodads. If you want to be Krieger, for example, from Archer, shout out Archer, which I did, very fun, then you can be an Artificer. if you want to start making tools, magical tools for the party, and be a good buffer, defenser, or even frontliner, they're very versatile and they can do quite a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
So go artificer.
Yeah, and it's annoying when your fucking artificer makes a homunculus, and the homunculus just kind of hangs out when you already gave him a goblin follower. So then they have a homunculus and a goblin that just run around on the airship.
And God forbid they go the battlesmith subclass, because then they just also have like a little robot pet as well.
Classic. Yeah, well, that covers that. Do we want to do the races? Can we do the races?
Yeah, let's go for races.
Dwarf.
Take it away, Mr. Dwarf.
Short, hairy. If you're a stone dwarf, you can look at stone and you get advantage on history checks looking at stone.
I'm gonna take your word for that one.
As a geology major, I know that well.
Is that why you did dwarf first?
No, I just that's always what I think of first when I think of
fair enough
D&D races. I don't know why.
If you want to be short, have good strength, good smithing knowledge, I'd go dwarf.
Yeah.
However, if you're like, a more posh, go fuck yourself kind of nerd, classic elf. There's high elves, there's dark elves, and there's wood elves. Wood elves for the more nature-esque kind of elf. Good on dexterity, very fast, very nimble. Good on some camouflage. If you want to go the more nerd, posh, go fuck yourself kind of elf, probably leaning towards magic, I'd go high elf, the nerd elf. And then if you're more of an edgier, want that charisma, a little bit of spell casting even, I'd go dark elf drow. Just be warned, you're going to have some racism thrown at you.
It depends on the DM, but yeah.
You're going to have some racism thrown to you.
It's like Windhelm from Skyrim.
I don't play Skyrim.
Dude,
you knew I was a Warframe kind of guy.
That's fucked. As a D&D fan, you have to play Skyrim.
Let me ask you a question. Do you still play Skyrim?
Yes.
I withdraw my question.
I play it like once a year.
Okay, I bring back my question.
I got it on my laptop last year, so I could mod it. It's pretty sick, actually.
I'm a Warframe kind of guy, but to each their own. What's
I
next?
I just want to talk about Skyrim for an hour.
Go fuck yourself.
Half elf.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say human first. Default human. I think you can. Your ability traits are just like +1 to 2 of whatever you want, or something like that, or it's like +1 to everything.
No, it's a +1 to 2 things, or a +2 to anything.
Yeah. So it's the most like versatile, maybe.
Bland, min-maxing bitch ass.
Yeah, very default.
Very default.
Very vanilla. But if a human and an elf were to wrestle, sometimes they can make a half elf, which I don't know much about the races, I'll be honest. Other than what they are, I don't know much about their stats.
Pretty much everything we've said so far,
Wisdom,
excluding
probably.
Human, will have dark vision.
True.
Which is, sometimes an overlooked thing, but should be noted. Half elf is just your standard half elf. It's, again, very versatile. I haven't played much of it. If you want more dex, maybe a little bit of intelligence or wisdom, I'd definitely go with your half elf.
Mm-hmm. If you want to be a small little fella, there's even smaller than a dwarf. There's 2 main options. One is gnome.
Fuck gnomes.
Who are generally like tinkerers or miners, in the sense that they like to mine or not the other miner.
I think that's more dwarf. Gnomes are more just...
There's deep gnomes.
I withdraw my thing. That's a very good point.
That's what I was
There are
thinking.
deep
Sorry.
gnomes. Yes, absolutely.
When I was thinking gnome, I was mostly thinking deep gnome, about the mining thing. And then halflings are like hobbits from Lord of the Rings. They got big feet.
And they're very lucky.
True.
You want to explain the lucky?
They're big feet. I don't want to spend my lucky. I would never spend my lucky.
Pretty much, if you go halfling, a very good advantage that you'll get is you'll get a lucky feat off rip. And what that does is 3 times a day, if you roll something and you don't like that roll, you can be like, I'm feeling lucky today, and you can just re-roll that. It's pretty nice.
That's true.
Pretty good.
You can also take the lucky feat at some point if you level up, which I feel like is always, it's hard to pass up on. Lucky.
Really hard to pass up.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Dragonborn?
Dragonborns are very good sorcerers. They have an innate bonus to charisma, I believe. They are typically pretty strong. Just picture like a scaly humanoid with the head of a dragon. They can also have this unique feature where, depending on your heritage of dragon, you can start spewing vomit of different flavors. You want some fiery vomit, you want some cold vomit, you want some acid vomit. You just want some, maybe you should have some Tums at that point.
True. I was feeling like that yesterday. I ate brisket the night before.
Ate a Vietnamese?
And then the next day I ate a Vietnamese, and then I drank a milkshake.
First there was like a Chinese man. Now you ate a Vietnamese.
Yeah. I'm a friend of the Asians.
Shout out.
Which is true.
I don't have any Vietnamese friends, but shout out Irvin.
Shout out Ed.
He's Filipino.
The Philippines. Close.
That works.
Should we cut this?
Nah, well, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Who else are we missing?
Of our Asian friends?
Orcs.
Oh.
If you want to be a strong boy, preferably going into fighter barbarian or even paladin, I'd go for an orc. They're very brutish, strong, not very good looking, I will have to admit, if that's your type.
Depends, yeah.
But yeah, I'd go for orc.
Half orc, again.
Half orc.
It's like, again, halfway between a human and orc if you want a middle ground there. They're strong, but like not as meat-headed, I feel like.
I'd say not as meat-headed. You have a bit more versatility versus being just strong.
I'm trying to think. Is that all of them? Orc, human, elf, the half-breeds, dwarf, gnome, halfling, dragonborn, tiefling.
How could we forget the tiefling? Hellspawn.
I feel like you probably know more about the tiefling more than I do.
I've played quite a few tieflings just because they're a very edgy, generic trait.
And hot.
They're so fucking hot. You got some handlebars. You got like a backhand. Anyways, I'm not going to get too sexual. We've already been pretty sexual here.
If you can't see, he just touched me. Very, very sensually.
Anyways, tieflings. So pretty much your tiefling will have some infernal blood in them. Whether it be your grandpappy made a deal with the devil to be like, I want some of that ass and I'll give you my soul, because he was just, a thirsty bitch, then you might be a tiefling. If, ages ago, your poppy made a pact for something else, for his first newborn, you might be a tiefling. Or if you're just an edgelord and, you want to be, have racism thrown at you, you might be a tiefling.
Mm-hmm. Or you just want to have red skin.
Red, purple, or blue skin, you can be a tiefling.
Pretty dope.
One more bonus I'll say to being tiefling is you'll get a bonus to your charisma, and you'll also have, depending on which race of tiefling you do, you'll get a nice little spell casting bonus of either a mage hand or the very famous hellish rebuke. If I just flicked Neven, he could set me ablaze.
I could. I
hellish
held
rebuke.
it in. I easily could have. That's why you can see it. It's bubbling out of my face.
Can't tell. Neven does not like his beard. I like his beard.
I
Put in the comments if he should shave his beard.
This is the longest I've
should.
ever gone in my life without shaving, and it's driving me insane.
You just gotta wait it out, man.
I feel like a real D&D fan now, though.
Damn right, though. Damn right.
With my fucking neck beard. So that's it for classes and races.
I was actually just gonna do a couple honorable mentions. I won't go over them too much, but some other races you'll find in some other books is something like, if you want to be a birdman, Aarakocra.
If you want to be a robot man, Warforge.
If you want to be a swimmer fish boy, I believe they're called Tritons.
Yeah, I think so. You could also be hobgoblin. I believe I've seen before. Probably a goblin if you want. There's a bunch of homebrew and like additional resources out there.
And if you want a fun, cool role playing experience where you mimic everybody or anything you see, you cannot fly, which makes her a pretty good rogue. You could be a
Fucking guy loves kenkus.
loves kenkus. You could be a kenku.
If he could sleep with a kenku, I think he would.
I don't know if I want to be up in that. What's it called? I'm not-
Cloaca.
Yeah, I
No,
don't know
that
if I
was
want
a
to be up
two.
in that
He doesn't
cloaca.
want, he doesn't
Right?
want to be in the cloaca. I was wrong. Yeah, but once you decide between any of those options, then you got to start thinking about what matters to your character.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say so. What they believe in, what they value, and this again, you can talk to your DM about this, but how they fit into the world, how the world has affected their lives. Maybe like the bad guy killed my parents. It's like a classic one. That's very easy to do, and it sets you on the path to work with your friends to try to kill that guy.
What's your profession? Are you a bounty hunter? Are you a plumber? Are you just your run of the mill
Mercenary.
mercenary or merchant? Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go. None of them are bad ideas.
And then that also goes into your motivation. Why are you going after the big bad guy, or why are you adventuring with this party? Is very important to think about.
Which is a double-edged sword, because you should be thinking about this. At the same time, your DM should be thinking about this and give you some reasons. Do
Yes.
not crutch your DM and be like, well, I'm here, like you should be giving me the reason, blah blah. It's your character. You need to like help walk down the path.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, we can lead you to the water. We can't fuck you in it, all right? Like,
Okay, a quick aside. Wait, what?
so I think I messed
Yo,
up that.
pause. Yo.
I think we messed up that saying, but anyways.
I don't even want to say what I was going to say anymore.
Okay, hold on. What were you gonna say?
I need to go home now. Not just to what you were saying before the fucking whatever that saying was. There was one time, one of my players kept constantly asking who her father was, and then it's like, oh, is this guy my father? Is this guy my father? No, blah blah. Eventually, they went to a prison where they found an elf who banged someone who sounded a lot like her mom about however old she was years ago, and she didn't care at all. She didn't even think about it until everyone else at the table was like, you think this is your dad? She was like, oh, maybe. And then it just never went anywhere. She didn't care. I was like, your like one thing was like, you don't know your father.
And you want to find out.
Yeah,
And I'm
and
giving
then-
them to you on a silver platter.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, get your motivations in order.
Same player who brought their dog, when they were dog sitting.
Son of a
Their dog.
bitch. They're probably gonna be watching this and be like, "You son of a bitch." If you were that
I don't
person,
think she
comment.
would, but other people who know her did watch it. This is a shout out to my friends.
Our friends, God.
Huh?
God, my friends too.
No.
He's probably right. I'm lying.
Okay, half of them are. That's true. 2 of the 4 people who were there.
Well, we got our classes, we got our races, and now we got our motivation. What do you think's next for being a player?
Well, there's all the nitty gritty stuff we can get into that I'll just cover briefly. You need to know your health points, which your constitution and your class affects that, which is how much health you have, how much damage you can take. There's your hit dice, also depends on the player. Barbarians have bigger hit dice, so they'll have a D12 instead of like a wizard who would have a D6. And that's how much hit points you can regain during a short rest, which we'll get into.
All of this you can find in the D&D Player's Handbook. Keep in mind that everything we have said and will be saying is 5e, aka 5th edition related.
Yes, the goat
The goat.
Your armor class depends on what armor, and your dexterity. Your temporary hit points, that depends on spells, or like maybe if you ate something fortifying. If you ate a really good stew, you get some temporary hit points, which once they're used up, they're just gone. Your proficiency, which depends on your level, and that goes into your weapon attacks and your skills. And your skills, without a proficiency bonus, are just the correlating ability score. So for like acrobatics, if you check your dex and you get a +3, you get a +3 to all your acrobatics checks that you have to do, unless you're proficient in acrobatics, in which you can add your proficiency bonus, which increases as you level up. And that's a lot of what I have written down.
I almost think we can go over like spells and like action economy in like a combat episode.
Move into,
because there's a lot to go over in just that alone.
I know. I feel like we've spent a minute on the character creation and stuff. Should we save combat?
I think we should save combat.
All right. Tune in next time for combat. Should we talk about out of combat briefly? What you're doing as your character when you're not fighting.
Yeah. So when you're not fighting and you're doing more role play.
That's one of my notes is role play. Have your character, set them up with a system of what they believe in, and then in every situation, think of how this character would react. Which a lot of people are just themselves at the table.
Which can be fine, but don't be that. Okay, you're here to be someone else because you don't like yourself. This is why we all play D&D.
All my characters have a really full beard and really long, and it looks really good.
Oh, mine have a nice penis.
I have a penis that wasn't absolutely mangled in a blender incident.
Mine looks like a corkscrew.
I won't get into that. That's true. I've seen it.
It's true. Whenever I have to fuck, I just kind of have to spin myself around to get in there, spin myself counterclockwise to get out of there.
Yeah. Role play is what Rhyum does with his duck girlfriend, because ducks have corkscrew.
That's a really a corkscrew cloaca?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it a cloaca on a duck?
Aren't they a bird?
I guess so.
Aren't they avian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do all birds have cloacas?
I'm pretty sure.
If you know anything about birds, leave it in the comments.
Going on that roleplay. Going into the player's handbook, you can also find a lot of bonds and flaws and traits to help
that'll
you pick out your character and help you just define who they really are. Personally, I don't know if Nev likes to do this, but I like to have all my characters to have this bond, flaw, and trait, just to really help them get at least have 3 base points on how to play that character, because role playing an entirely different character or person can be a little bit difficult for people. Completely understandable. But if you have a couple points, for example, Mr. One of my other characters, Mr. Jube Jube Dewey Blue. Shout out Jube Jube Dewey Blue. He hated gnomes for the life of him. Shout out Namfrudel Gloom. That of a gnome. So he hated gnomes, but he loved helping people. If there was anytime there was a person in need, he would always be to the rescue.
What if, hypothetical, there is a minecart hanging precariously off the edge of a cliff, and inside there is a gnome and his halfling girlfriend?
He would take the halfling and kick the cart off. For sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he helps everyone except gnomes. Mm-hmm. That was my the last character I ever played. I think his name was Haywood Lancaster.
Haywood Lancaster is a great name.
Everyone just called him Lance. But his main motivation was he was embarrassed. He was a commander or a captain in this knight brigade, And one night, the king hired a magician to entertain the troops, and he called up Lance, and Lance was embarrassed by this magician in front of his whole crew until they lost all respect for him, and he was kicked out because because the magician made him look like such a fool. And so his whole motivation was traveling across the world, trying to do good to like reinstate his knighthood, but also to try to find the magician and slaughter him.
Shadow, I think you should leave.
It was loosely based on that. I think you should leave sketch. Yes.
You should watch that skit. It is hilarious. You ruined my life!
Oh. And we'll take a quick break while Ryan fixes his mic. Hello. This is me from the future. I'm editing this video. I fucked up. The framing sucks. So if it looks weird, that's why.
And we're back with Chiquittle, aka Can I Quest That Line? Now, I believe we have a couple more things to talk about before we wrap this puppy up. Neven, want to take her off?
Just some important things about the game that you should know as a player. Outside of combat, when you're all beaten up and bloodied after an encounter, you can either take a short rest or a long rest. You can usually take a short rest whenever, as long as you're out of combat and you have at least an hour within the game
In
to
a
like
safe
sit down.
environment.
Yeah, to like sit down, lick your wounds, drink some water, get some electrolytes in you, maybe eat like an
Fuel
orange
up.
slice.
Yeah, get an orange slice, get a
And
Cliff Bar, something like that.
and this is an opportunity for like spellcasters to switch their spells around if they're able to.
Maybe you can get some spell slots back depending on your class.
I was going to say arcane recovery if you have that ability. There's also a long rest, which you just completely restocks. Or, sorry, I didn't finish short rest. You get your hit dice, which is what you roll, depending on your class and your level, is how much dice you get to expend during short rests to gain your health back. So at level 3, you get 3 dice that you can expend. So if you're a level 3 barbarian, you get 3 d12 a day. If you get hurt, you roll it. 4 plus your constitution modifier. You get to add that to your health points, like to re-heal. And then that would be one of your 3 until a long rest, which is where all your shit resets. So your health goes to max. You get all your hit dice back, all your spell slots back. There's like some effects that won't fix over a long rest, like if you're cursed or if you got like lycanthropy, that won't.
Yeah, there's some very special, pretty much all are going to be magical curses that you can't heal over a long rest. However, if you have necrotic HP, which is health that cannot be healed due to necrotic damage, that can be easily taken away by a short or a long rest. Personally, similar to Baldur's Gate, I don't know if this is actual canon, but I like to do, you get 2 short rests a day, and then you can long rest. And when you long rest, you get all your short rests back.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, 2 short rests a day is a good level. I usually just do it like if they take a short rest, it's like an hour. I let that slide. It really depends on how much stuff they do during the short rest. Like if they short rest and they each like use 1 hit dice, like that's an hour, that's fine. But if they do like a short rest where they're all bloodied and they all use all their hit dice, and then whatever. I guess if they use all their hit dice, there's no point in another short rest. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then another thing I wanted to mention that you have to think about as a player, and it depends on your DM. There's a lot of little things that players have to keep up with that I often don't worry about. I'm pretty sure you're the same in regards to spell components, eating food, drinking water. Those are the 2. And encumbrance, worrying about how much weight you're carrying. I don't sweat that stuff because that's really technical. Or counting your ammo. Do you make your players count their ammo?
Infinite ammo. We're not.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's like Video game rules.
It's video game rules, and it's just no hard no. Yeah, I feel like encumbrance, food, water is like we don't need to keep track. We have so much other shit to keep track of as DMs.
Yeah,
we don't
dude.
need to keep
Even
track of that.
spell components where it's like, oh, you need a wing of a pixie. I'm like, oh, if he wants to cast a spell, I gotta make him. They have to find this item somewhere, so then I have to consciously be like, do I put a pixie somewhere? Do I put a merchant who just has this somewhere?
So, fun fact about that, leading into this next point, is if you have a spellcasting focus, which pretty much every spellcaster needs, whether it be a wand, a staff, or like an amulet, or a charm, or a necklace, something you cast your spells with, you can negate those small things like a pouch of cinnamon, a pixie wing. You can completely skip over that, and your spellcasting focus will take over. However, by D&D rules, it will not negate the pricing, aka if it costs gold or if it costs like a diamond or something like that. However, again, like Neven said, we don't typically do that. If you want to cast spells, go cast spells. We're here to have fun.
The one exception is like Revivify, because that uses a diamond or like a lot or something very expensive. I think it's a diamond.
I think so.
So I will make them need a diamond, but I'll give them a diamond.
Which is
then go
which is
buy
a good
one.
rule.
At that point, when people are dying and they want to revive them, it's like they have enough money they can go to a store and buy a diamond. I think that's about it for my notes. And traversal. So when you're out of combat, a lot of the times it's like traveling from one area to another. The way I do it is like it's a montage of you walking, and then every like couple hours in game, I have the players roll, and then I look at an encounter table. Sometimes it'll be a hostile encounter. Other times it'll be like something funny, just a dumb idea I came up with. Other times it'll be like a traveling merchant or something, which doesn't really. It's not on the player to know that.
Yeah, it's really up to you.
But travel is part of the game, and I don't know. Like, how do you?
I was about to say it's really up to you and the DM on how you want to do travel. I know some people like just to do like fast travel per se, where it's like, I want to go to this next town, and they're like, okay, well, you're there. You walked there, it took like a few hours. You're there. Now what do you want to do? And then there's like the other route, like Neven does, and like sometimes I do, where you roll your encounters, see what happens, do a little montage and that kind of stuff, which could even derail or sidetrack, which could be a good thing. You never know.
Yeah, if I don't have the next thing set up in the next city, I'm like, oh, the road's shut down. You gotta go this way, and then I give them like a side quest, which is literally just like, I just get like a loose castle design. I'm like, oh, it's taken over by zombies, and there was like a wizard up in a tower. So then the whole session becomes them clearing their way to get to the wizard, and the wizard like gives them a reward.
Hell yeah.
It's like, oh, that's the quest, and it saved me. It took me like 30 minutes to prep that. Now I can focus on like getting back on the main quest line in the next city. Cool.
So do you want to wrap this up with your favorite character that you've ever created and played?
Yeah, I haven't done too many. And the ones I did in high school, I don't remember. So I'll have to take a minute, and I'll let you start.
Okay. I've played a good amount of characters, all ranging from Kenkus, Tieflings, to... Holy fuck. What was that one guy? Oh, a Githyanki, which is like a... Pretty much your standard... Yeah, that Githyanki. You see? Racism in D&D.
I'm Shadowheart's boyfriend. I have to.
That's true. So yeah, it's kind of hard for me to choose. I've had a lot of very funny, very great characters. However, and I'll probably list go through all of them in later podcasts. But for today, I'd say I'd tie for these top 3 that I've made. But for today, I'm gonna do Whisper the Kenku. Whisper the Kenku was I believe he was
I fucking loves Kenkus.
They're pretty fun. Whisper, and the great role playing. Whisper the Kenku was a very old, senile birdman who very much got like sidetracked and forgot a lot of things. But he was one of my other parties. I forget what class he was, but he was pretty much his. Oh no, he was a warlock, and a part of his warlock subclass was a hexblade, which, a little bit of lore, hexblades are a specific type of weapon made by the Raven Queen, who is a goddess of the Shadowfell, and they get their powers from that blade, which is kind of sentient. And my lore was that the Raven Queen sent me, a Kenku Raven man, to protect this man and be his personal bodyguard.
Cool.
And so it was very fun playing him because it went from help this dude be a protector, but he just went down this super dark path. And so Whisper had a very hard moral dilemma of, is he even doing the right thing? Because, like, yes, he's doing what he should do, as his goddess says. However, a lot of the things this guy's doing is going against his moral compass. And so about midway through the campaign, maybe 75%, he started to switch sides. It's like, you know what? You're a terrible person. I'm not going to work for you anymore.
Nice. That's cool. He
also went insane.
Did you have to kill him?
I didn't have to kill him. We never kind of finished, but that his character did make a Whisper literally go insane because of how much bad shit he did. It was horrifying. He witnessed the other party Rise character die in front of him. Like, he was holding him. He had no more spell. He was a cleric. He had no more spells to heal him or revivify him. He just watched him die under a pillar in his arms. And it was so sad.
That's awesome, dude.
And then the Hexblade dude walked into the room and he was like, looked at the dude dying, was like, dumbass, and left. And and Whisper broke.
Dude, that's fucked.
He was fucked up.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think mine would be Haywood Lancaster.
Haywood
honestly.
Lancaster.
I'm thinking about it. Because, again, I just love that his motivation was just like, I need to redeem myself, but also I'm on the lookout for this. So when I met, because I joined session 2, so like I got the brief on where they were, and I was like, yeah, I'm just here trying to help out people. You guys haven't seen a magician, have you? That was the first thing I asked. But also that character, he was really just like, I had a lot of good laughs playing him that one session I played him for. But in this tower that we were investigating, it was like taken over by like mermen or something like that, fish people. I just remember we killed all these people, and I was looking around, and there was this banner with a like a conch shell on it. So I was like, oh, can I make it into a poncho? And I was wearing this poncho with like a blue poncho with a conch shell on it. And we got up to the top of the tower, and there was a man who like barricaded himself in a room, and we talked to him. He was like, yeah, blah blah blah. I'm up here. My whole family, like, this is our crest. We're all dead. I'm the only last member. He like gestured to one of the banners, and then I was like, oh, so what do you think about this? And I like put up my poncho, and the DM totally forgot, and he was like, oh, I mean, that's cool.
That's cool. Like, it's just my family crest.
Yeah,
tore apart.
Like, this isn't. I can wear this. It's not offensive. It's like, no, you're good, man. I was like, okay, cool. You haven't seen a magician, have you?
I thought that he was gonna be the magician.
No, every character I met, I was like.
Did you ever find the magician?
No, I only played the one session, unfortunately, because I was also DMing my campaign, and the only day I was free from my campaign was Sunday when they were doing their campaign. So it's like, either I do mine with my friends, or I be a player. And I was really tempted to be a player, but I was like inspired to do my.
Once a DM, always a DM.
Yeah, dude. And once I have a good idea that I like, I was really into my last one that I did.
Which we'll get into in our DM for Dummies or DM for Babies, whatever the fuck we're going to name it. But I think that's all our time for Chiquiddle.
Yeah, this went long. I don't know if we said at the beginning of the episode if we were going to do player and dungeon master, but turns out today is just player. Mm-hmm. So I might... Nah, I won't change anything. What we have is what we have.
We'll make some edits.
Yeah, we could redo the intro right now.